Minnesota Vikings general manager Rick Spielman loves him some late round draft picks, and it does frustrate fans to a degree, continually trading down, especially in the mid rounds, to acquire as many 6th and 7th rounders as possible. So yesterday was a big day, just a banner day, gold star for the why does Spielman waste 6th and 7th round picks contingent. I mean, they just had an awesome time yesterday, as all 6 of the 6th and 7th rounders from this year's draft class did not make the 53-man rooster. So, yeah. Also, it doesn't matter that they may make the practice squad, but yeah, nah. So this is on the heels of last year, which that contingent conveniently forgets, when 5 of the 7 6th and 7th rounders made it onto the 53-man roster last year. Armand for Watts, Olu Udoh, Chris Boyd, B.C. Johnson, Austin Cutting. Also, you can throw in them Marcus Epps, the safety from Wyoming, ended up being on the Eagles 53-man roster, and actually is looking to contribute for them this year because they have all the injuries. You just hate to see it. You hate to see it, but nah. But also, I don't really get the logic. Like, I understand that people like to complain. I'm a complainer myself. But what do you want Spielman to do? Like, just be so stubborn, be like, hey, I drafted this guy in the 6th and 7th round. I'm going to keep him on the rooster, even though he doesn't really deserve a spot. Like, is that what you want? Context is extremely important here. So the Vikings had a record-setting 15 draft picks. That's the most picks ever for a team since they went to the 7-round format. I think in 94, something like that. Nah. And also, they had 9 picks. 9 friggin' picks in rounds 1 through 5, including 2 first-rounders. 9 is more than most teams have for an entire class. Also, with that many picks, you do have a greater margin of error just because you have that many more pulls at the slot machine. As well as, stop complaining. Spielman had an extra first-round pick. He had 3 fourth-rounders. He had 2 fifth-rounders. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want? So, in practice this year, because the Vikings were on a roster crunch, those 4th and 5th rounders, they basically functioned as the late round guys this year. You look at DJ Wonnum, you look at James Lynch, you look at Harrison Hand, all barely made the 53. Also, important to note that UDFA Dan Chisena made the initial 53. TBD what happens there, but they like him as a special teamer, so you throw that in as well. And also, it becomes a numbers game because it's still a 53-man roster. And also, each of the 11 seasons under Rick Spielman, Vikings have had more than the allotted 7-round draft picks. So eventually, that does come home to roost, including 12 draft picks last year, 10 of which are still in the sphere of the Vikings. The only ones gone are Dylan Mitchell and Marcus Epps. The aforementioned Marcus Epps is on the Eagles. Also, Cameron Smith's on NFI. So other than that, you have 9 draft picks from last season who are currently on the 53-man roster. That adds up. It does. And also, the 6th and 7th round picks, they really are the true blue lotto tickets. Like, they obviously have a lower hit rate than day 1 or 2 guys, but the upside is better because if you miss, who cares? 6th and 7th round pick. You look around the league, current 6th and 7th rounders, they get cut all the time, right? As well as, to a degree, there isn't the obstinateness of the stubbornness of the GM. It's like, I invested our 1st round pick. I invested a 2nd, 3rd, 4th round pick in these guys, and we've seen it. We've seen it with Treadwell, with Cordero, with Pat Elflein. You're not emotionally attached because it's not your reputation on the line with a 6th, 7th round pick. But if you hit on one a year, that becomes at minimum a special teams contributor or a bottom of the roster guy, or upside with a starter. That's big, and that's all that you need. So go ahead and ask Armand Watts and Olu Udoh and B.C. Johnson if 6th and 7th round picks matter. Or go back, ask Afadi freaking Odenigbo, ask Stephen Weatherly, ask Jaron Kearse, ask Shamar Stephen, ask Audie Cole or John Sullivan or if 6th and 7th round picks matter. Because they do. They do. And yes, you're going to have a lower hit rate than 1st round picks, but duh. Also, the gang of these guys will still make the practice squad and have a later shot at the roster. So they're Viking story is far from over. So Blake Brandel as well as Kyle Hinton, both will be eventual O-line factors. I think both make the practice squad. You have Willikis on IR. TBD what happens with Rudy. Stanley, the quarterback, is whatever, as well as the 2 dudes. The safeties, Cole and Metellus, they seem to be the only duds. So this is what happens when you have a big draft guy like Rick Spielman. Also, it's very important to note that since these guys are on their rookie deals, as well as some of these guys are on their later rookie deals, it's important for the salary cap because you have a team of haves and a lot of have-nots. And with the potential cap crunch in 2021, all these young guys on rookie deals are important. So that's the reason why the Vikings are traditionally one of the younger teams in the league. This is why the Vikings stay in good cap position, because Rick Spielman expands that draft class, gets as many young guys in the building as possible. Sometimes they don't all work out, and that is the luxury. Because imagine if you were a team who needed those 6th and 7th round guys to contribute this year. You'd be SOL. But it's perfectly okay. It is not an indictment on Spielman. It is not an indictment on those players themselves. It is not an indictment on the entire perspective that Spielman approaches the draft with. So, chill. Tranquilo. All right, so your thoughts. 0 6th and 7th rounders make the rooster this year. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.